After that, I have no idea what's gonna happen now, because now, like, if you look at price, like, you're tapping into some minor levels here. Like, there's a minor level around like here down to here. So like from here to here, anything can happen, right? You might reject, you might close bullish, you might close below. But what's important next is the daily time frame closure. I mean, if you drop down to a smaller time frame, you might see some levels you can take advantage of if you're still trading. Like the 4 here, it can drop down towards the next support, but like what's on the way down towards the next support? 2018 is the next support, but what's on the way down there? There's a minor level here at 2014, which you might see a reaction off of, right? There's also a level here at 2011, which you might see a reaction off of. Between 2011 and 2014, what could happen if that's where you might see a reaction off of? You're going to see a range, right? You're going to see a range between 2014 and 2011 likely. So as you come down towards there, expect some type of level rejecting there, expect some type of range being formed. So what that means is that, like, okay, cool, understand right now price is bearish. If you want to wait for it, what you can wait for is maybe like, okay, cool, wait for a range to be formed. So wait for this, right? Wait for a price to drive down to fill 2011. And then once it taps 2011, what you could expect is this to happen. All of a sudden, now you have a range being formed, right? Once you have a range being formed from here, for instance, to like here, what you could do now is, what's the next step of the process, chat? You guys know this. The first step is the continuation. Second step is the range. Third step is what? Third step is the, I asked you guys this earlier. You guys knew this. Liquidity, right? So the second step, or my bad, continuation, range, liquidity, right? Wait for liquidity after a range is formed. So once you have a range from 2011, 2014, based off of minor levels of support, what you can do is wait for liquidity up or liquidity down. For instance, if you come up first, right, and all of a sudden you break back into the range, that's a fake out on a higher time frame. That might be a liquidity. So that what you might see is, you might see this. You might see price come down afterwards after breaking highs, right? But you gotta wait for that break of the high. And if price comes down first and then it flips bullish, then guess what? You're coming up to retest the highs, right? So this is what it comes down to. It looks like you have found support here. So let me just move it up a little bit. Let me just move it down to like, this is your support, I guess you can say right now, that's being formed 2014, and your next amount of resistance is up here. So this is like your overall range, right? If price were like, let's say, close bearish here on a 5 or something, cool, you can say our resistance is now being formed, right? But this is what you want to wait for, because you don't know where it's going to be, where it's going to create resistance at. It could be here, it could be up here, but the moment it does so, you now have what's called a range. And after a range, you can wait for what I said earlier. Wait for a price to come out, create a top wick at the most recent resistance. If this is where it is, then you're looking at 2020 next. If that gets tapped and you flip bearish, great, sells down towards bottom of the range. If you come down first, right, and instead of coming up and then you flip bullish and close above, then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna look for buys up above 2017 up, right? But that's what you want to do now. Like, you don't want to be looking for trades just yet. I believe the last move you would have had was like this clean traffic move down below 2019 down towards 2014. The next step is going to be waiting for that liquidity to be grabbed, wherever that is, up or down, to finish off the day, right? Because you are tapping into some minor levels here to the left. The good thing though is that you do have NYC open. So you do have this 4-hour close. My bad. You do have a 30-minute close that closed below. But going back to what I said earlier about what we sample sized over the last couple of months, I wouldn't be surprised, chat, if this 4 candle came down and then it flips bullish and it ends up closing bullish. I would not be surprised at all, because of the way we closed. Which means that if that's the case, probably it shows you that there's a high chance you could close bullish, which means that all you gotta do now is wait for liquidity to be grabbed down to go up, and those are your buys, right? So maybe a closure above 2017, a bottom wick at 2011, and then the rebreak at the highs of 2017, you're up good towards 2020, because that's where the 4-hour flips at, and that's your move of the day, your next move if you're looking for that. But that might take a minute to play out, because you need to grab liquidity first. But like that's how you want to like approach